What's going down? It's your boy DJ Marcellus though, back again with another video, and I'm excited to announce the release of Diamond 4.0 for our SoundSwitch project. As you guys can see here, I got the setup behind me set in our static scene, all white right now. But here we go again.
Oh shit, here we go again.
We about to get into it. First of all, we're gonna go over the setup before we get into the in-depth of the project. We're gonna talk about what fixtures we're using, kind of what new things we added to the project as well. And you will see a few of those new things here today. But first, going over the setup left to right, and it is symmetrical on both sides. We have the BPM spots here on a gravity stand and a 360 tube. So the BPM spot here is running its pretty much only channel mode at like 22, and then our tubes are running 80 channel mode. Now we have our new spider washes here. You can see it blurring out the camera right now. But our new spider washes here at 40 channel mode, 2 separate channels for those. We have our Splash X, that is our BPM-Splash X. Now, have you guys seen our Splash X's before? We came out with a battery version of those movers. And personally, the Splash X are my favorite movers. It's almost like a little mini hybrid, but it's cool because it gives you that BI effect. So now you can kind of make it into a moving Kenta to a degree. And you'll see some of that in the footage going over all the auto loops and stuff. But continuing over, now we did add in the dancing on the cloud machine, so you can use that on DMX as well, which is pretty huge. Followed by that, you got the BPM beams here. So BPM beams with another 360 tube, 4 separate tube channels on 80 channel mode. Each mover has its own channel on either the middle or highest channel mode. Then working over, we have another new product here that we added. So it's not on because we're on a static scene right now, but this is our G pins. These are our little pin spots with a gooseneck, and it does zoom in. So I have these pretty much on the totems here, kind of highlighting the DJ booth. And the DJ booth, by the way, is a custom-made DJ booth by my boy DJ A-Rock. He's calling them the Rock booths. They are made to order. This is one of his first versions here that I was able to get. So you can see we got the custom marble siding and top on this booth. Everything you would expect in your general video booth, but a lot smaller overall. But let's continue going over the setup. Last part of the setup that we pretty much got for this setup. Now, to clarify, this project works for all our fixtures that we offer. So I absolutely added all our fixtures that we can offer. And even in just this, what some people would call a small setup, I'm using 2 universes to run this right now. But the last thing that's added is the Haze machine here. So the Haze machine is now in the project. So if you want to trigger that Haze machine while you're DJing or at an event, you can now trigger that with a static scene. So we're going to go ahead and let some more haze get up in here. We're going to change the camera and we're going to jump over to the software so we can show you guys the different edits that we did. All right, so let's go ahead and jump over here into the new SoundSwitch project. Now, obviously, when you open up SoundSwitch, you will get hit with the screen to choose which mode you want to jump into. And I'm going to go ahead and jump over here into the edit mode first, just to show you guys some of the changes that we have done. So jumping over to edit mode, you will see that the venue has been updated to Diamond 4.0 to let you know exactly what project you're on. So jumping into the DMX, as you can see here, we have 2 universes. Now, off the rip, this is how your basic universe will be set up. Your code sparks will be on channel 1. And then you have your uplights. So your IR4s, your S4s, S6s, your chroma cannons. These will all operate on channels 3 and 13. And then now we had to add those spider washes into universe 1. So when building out this project, I wanted to think about what fixtures do majority of DJs use and how many of them do they use. So I try to fit the top selling fixtures inside universe 1. and the most fixtures that majority of us use on a regular basis. So that's why we got our uplights. Then we got our spider washes, operate in 40 channel mode, followed by your BPM spots. Still one of the top selling movers. I really love the BPM spots as well. Then your BPM beams. Now these could be swapped in for your BPM beams or your splash X's. So if you don't want to use beams, you can swap in a splash X's. Now the issue is you will have to remove some other fixtures or have two separate universes because the splash X's uses a lot of channels, 30 channels to be exact. So jumping over here to universe 2, you can see we have our splash X's, 30 channel mode, our pick bars, our new G pins. So those are our pin spots that I talked about earlier. Now what's not showing in this setup, but if you go over to DJ Rick Webb's channel, you can definitely check it out, is the stage lights. Now these are a new product, more geared towards people who are trying to get into the corporate world. So followed by the stage lights, we have our haze machine, which you see me use there earlier in the video, and then over our low-lying water fog machine, which that was not operating today because I didn't want to put water in it. I'm sorry, but it is working and set up in the DMX software. Then you have some of our pro level stuff as far as our Splash Pros, our MH150s, our Hybrid 300s, our Auroras, and our mini beams. Now, if you guys don't have a lot of these fixtures in Universe 1 here, it is easy to drag and drop between Universe 1 and Universe 2 for what fixtures you actually need for that event. So if you just want to operate off Universe 1, and let's say for instance we take this tube out of here, we don't need this tube, you can drag it over here to Universe 2 and it will save all the channel data, and then now we can bring over our splash X's to use those in our scene now. So let me just grab that right there. Now we got our splash X's. Let's correct those. But now we have our splash X here in Universe 1, and we can use our splash X's in Universe 1 and consolidate to one universe. But we're going to go ahead and set that back because we are already set up with all our fixtures assigned to the correct channel. And you can see that once I got back, you probably seen the lights and everything changing, and that was because I was messing with the universe and they weren't on the correct channel. Now over here, this, I don't know if a lot of people really know about this little area inside of SoundSwitch. Now, obviously, you have your universes, and it highlights what universe or what fixtures are showing and which universe you're in. So when I'm in Universe 2 here, you can only see like the pin spots, the special effects, the MH150s, etc. are highlighted because I'm in Universe 2. But when I jump over to Universe 1, you can see we kind of get a change of what fixtures are highlighted. But the fixture groups over here and the fixture types, a main reason you would want to do this is for the occasional auto scripting of your shows. So if you want to auto script your shows, you want to make sure that you have your group set up right for the fixtures. Now I went ahead and set all the fixture groups up how I expected between spot secondary, mover secondary, spot primary, etc. So let me go ahead and switch that splash X back to mover secondary. So that really plays a role in how your auto scripts will script your shows and adjust the lights that it's mapping. Now, secondly, is the group feature down here. Now, if you got a control one or you're just using the software, you've probably seen the faders here on the performance page. So you got auto loop intensity, script track intensity, but then you got group 1 through 4 intensity. And in the DMX screen there, that is how you set those group intensities to those faders. So for this example, I have group 1 is usually my uplights. So because I don't have no uplights, you won't see anything moving. But then group 2 is my movers. So when I pull the movers down, you can see all my movers come down and I can adjust my brightness of my movers. Now group 3 is the tubes. Group 3 is the tubes. And then group 4 are our spider washes, our pin spots, and our stage lights slash Lekos. Now, the reason you don't see those low stage lights on is because I don't have them activated. So I just activated the cool white there. There goes a warm white, and there goes the mixed white. Now you can see that's highlighting the DJ booth there, which is pretty cool. Just in this setup, for instance. Now, regularly you would use pin spots differently at an event, but that's how we got them set up in this current demo. Okay, so other than adding new fixtures in this project and kind of renaming, remapping a lot of things inside the software to make it easier for you all, we also just in general updated all the static scenes. So, I thought it was kind of repetitive to have static scenes of solid colors and then static scenes of mixed colors. So, for instance, a static blue and white, static warm white and white, green and white, etc. And the reason behind that is because if you just want to do a color wash where everything is the same color, when you're in edit or performance mode, make sure you click up on this MIDI. If you're on the performance mode page, you can make all these fixtures change whatever color of the override up here. And that will activate as a static scene. So you can layer that with your static scene to get the desired effect. I'm just making sure everything is turned back up here, but you can see there now we have a red. Now there is a toggle and a hold mode, so you can see my red is on hold, on toggle, and then my orange is on hold. But if I want to switch that because I want to do a full orange static scene, I can switch that to toggle and now click that, and now all my lights are orange for that setup. So that's kind of why we switched our static scenes around. So now we got static blue and white, green and white, red and white, pink and white, etc. Amber and white. So those are our static scenes for basic setups. From experience with DJs, this is pretty much all they really use. And then obviously you gotta have your static ice white. Now we added in this perfect strobe here. The reason we added this is because unfortunately we do have Chinese lighting and their strobe frequencies are a little off. So what I did here in this static scene for that perfect strobe is try to map out the strobe sensitivity to be exactly where it looks good on a fixture there. So that's what the perfect strobe is. UV only. Any lights that got UV, it will produce the UV. So you can see pretty much our spider washes are the only one working. Now our rings on our BPMs are going as well, which is pretty cool. Creates a real nice background effect. Now that was triggered to hold. Now these are pin spot scenes. So our warm white, cool white, mixed white, and then this is low lying fog machine on, and then low lying or Hazer on. And then this is just special effects off in general. So between the low-lying fog and the Hazer machine. Now, we always had these uplight flashes. So this is the uplight wash light flash. So you can pause these whenever you just want to do a hit of white specifically to those lights. Same with the movers here. Flash them white, two flash. And I don't have pix bars in this setup, but there's also a pix bar flash. And we're going to change this and actually activate an auto loop here. We're going to go ahead and let that play because then we have uplight blackout. Obviously, that's just for the uplights and the washes. Mover blackout, So we can black out our movers. And now you can switch these between toggle mode or press mode. So if you do black out your movers occasionally, you can black them out by just hitting that. And then now your back got your movers on. But I like to have them on press mode because I like to, press buttons a little bit, have some fun. So after that, you have your tube flashes. So these just pretty much flash each tube in order. So tubes 1, 2, 3, 4. Lastly, you have your code spark on, code spark off, and then your code spark clean. Now, the one big thing I would say I wish SoundSwitch brings to the software, at least something like it, is the ability to stack static scenes. Now, the reason I want that ability to stack static scenes is because if I'm here on my static blue and white and I go to trigger my Hazer on, you can see it disengage that static scene. So what I would have to do is duplicate this static scene, this static blue and white on my Hazer on static scene. So when I go to switch between those two static scenes, that there's no change in the lights. So that's the same with even like the pin spots there. You can see me changing it throughout the booth, but my lights are still going. So there's occasional times where I will want to stack static scenes. Now these code sparks on and off, you don't need to use these if you have our newer models of code sparks. AKA if you got code sparks from 2023 till now, your code sparks are good to go. And the reason behind that is because on the control one and inside the software, there's this smoke button here inside of SoundSwitch. So we programmed our code sparks to go off the smoke button. So whenever you hit smoke, it triggers. And this smoke button also works for the haze machine. So when I hit that smoke and turned on the haze machine, it start affecting the haze machine as well. Now, that is where you were running the complications though, if you're using haze machine and code sparks. So if you're wanting to just trigger the code sparks, then you may want to come use this code spark on off or this Hazer on off if you just want to trigger the Hazer. But that is what we did for our new static scenes. Now we also added in 8 new Autoloops, 4 new Autoloops in bank 2 for the warm-up bank, and is red and yellow, pink and red, blue and green 1, and then blue and green 2. And then in bank 3, we added 4 new Autoloops with purple, light blue, and yellow, pink, light blue, and white, pink, red, light blue, blue, green, and white. So we're going to go ahead and let those Autoloops play so you guys can check those out. So there goes bank 2 warm up, newest auto loop. Here go our pink and red. Alrighty, there goes our pink and red. So jumping over to our blue and green 1 warm-up bank. This is one of our newest auto loops for 4.0. and then blue and green too. Alrighty, so there go our 4 new warm-up auto loops. Now we're gonna jump over to our primetime auto loops. Now we added 4 new primetime auto loops, so we're gonna go ahead and let those play. There goes 1, there goes 2. All right, here goes 3. And then here goes 4. Alright, so there goes some of the newest auto loops that we added to the project. Now, as you guys know, we added some new fixtures in there as well, mainly the spider washes. So for the spider wash, we updated the project to do pixel mapping on, and not necessarily pixel mapping, but on the spider wash, you can control each zone of the fixture. So each of the 6 zones, you can individually assign a different color. So we also updated all the past auto loops that we have to do some pixel mapping or zone mapping with the spider washes. So I'm just going to go through a couple of those auto loops so you guys can see those spider washes. And I'm actually going to turn the movers all the way down. As well as the tubes. So you can just see those spider washes. And these are just some of the ones in prime time currently. Now we jump over to warm up. And then of course, we obviously added it to the fades, and you guys know my favorite, the rainbow fade. So kind of each zone of the light is set to a different color at practically all times during this rainbow fade. I'm gonna go ahead and bring in the rest of the fixtures here. So here go our tubes, here go our movers. And then there go our spider washes all the way up. You guys see this full setup here, right? Pretty badass setup. But the biggest thing about the setup, it's all battery powered. The tubes, the movers, the spider washes. So cables is minuscule. Everything is battery powered, wireless DMX, and it's perfect. I mean, I was able to come in here and finish this setup by myself in an hour and just taking my time with no rush. So once again, battery powered for the win. And we're able to do pretty much every type of lighting now in battery powered. So secondly, we will be also updating our SoundSwitch Gold and our SoundSwitch Platinum projects. So our Platinum projects will only include the tubes, the spider washes, and uplights. And then our Gold project will only include the uplights and the spider washes. So if you don't have movers, if you don't have haze machine, dancing on the cloud, code sparks, all that stuff yet, you won't have to worry about getting the diamond project. But the setup call only comes with the diamond project, as it is the most intuitive to get set up. I forgot to add in a video, so there's a little tidbit, but the project does come with our capture presentation file. So what you get with the capture presentation file is the ability to now program and adjust your lights without actually setting up all your lights like we had to do here, like a lot of us probably done in the past as far as trying to program our lights to ensure everything is working. Now everything's not 100% accurate, but it will give you the best representation of your lights and how they will look without you actually having to set them up. So make sure you take advantage of that capture project. We got ways you can open it up and videos explaining that on our YouTube page. But yeah, just want to throw that little quick tidbit in there. Alrighty guys, so that is pretty much bringing this video to an end here. And I currently got the project just going on. This is one of my favorite Autoloops, mainly because the tubes do like a little wave thing here. You can kind of see it, but yeah, a little off topic. That brings the video pretty much to an end. So you wonder, what do you actually get with the project? So what do you get with the project is all of the programming included that you've seen here in our Diamond project. And that also gets you a setup call with our tech support, either Simeon, Dave, or myself, to make sure that you have the project loaded, running, and answer any quick tips or tricks that we can give you. So that's what you get with the project. Now, the benefit of this is that you guys don't have to do any of this programming, pixel mapping, scripting, rewording, none of that yourselves. Lastly, who is this project made for? This project is made for pretty much any DJ, mobile entertainer, band that want to get into having a more decorative light show, but don't want to spend all the time programming it, because we took that pain off of your shoulders for you. Feel free to reach out at info@BothLightingUSA, or just go over to our website, bothlightingusa.com. But thank you guys for all the support. We have gotten this project in over 150 plus DJs' hands, and feedback has been amazing. So I appreciate you truly. If you want more good content like this and to stay informed, make sure you like, subscribe on this video, and then comment your thoughts and what you kind of want to see in the lighting game in the future.